make our blocks stronger. And, you know, we've been talking over the course of the year, but we actually just sat down for the last couple of weeks to talk about the model she has. And what I wanted to do is because in the future, at the end of the day, if you live across the street from somebody and they live in the 8th ward, or the 5th ward, or the 10th ward, I don't think you really care that across the street is another ward. If your car can't pick up, the side of your street is dirty, if there's nonsense going on your side of the street, you could care less that, or on their side of the street, you could care less that across the street is another ward. So one of her initiatives is bringing these neighboring aldermen together within the confines of the area that she works in on the southeast side, and bringing all those blocks together. And my real impression with this young lady came when she hosted the block club assembly last year at South Shore High School. And it was really great. I was definitely impressed. She had a lot of showing, and what that showing was not just 5, 7, 8, 10, or individually. It was all those groups together, and she's planning on doing that again. So I just want her to come up and introduce herself, talk about what her organization does, talk about the block club assembly, and talk about a way that we can start being better connected with blocks throughout our community. But before that, yes. 29. Compassion Baptist Church, right down here. But it's on the bottom of your agenda or some upcoming events. It's at Compassion Baptist Church. We have flyers outside.
My question is, I'm taking away from my brother asking. I'm in another ward. We are transferring over to your ward. When we call for services now, they say to call the new ward. When does all this stuff take place?
Okay. Let me tell you, I stepped into this whole new math process. I said, if anything, I got 11 with so crazy math. And so there are, you know what? Call my office, look at your services. We're not worried about it. There are some, the math goes into effect in 2015. So the issue is, and I'll be real with everybody here, the issue is that there are some aldermen who are servicing people that are going to be in their future ward because the next vote, the aldermanic election is in 2015. So you want to service that. However, because the math is not really in effect, the conflict comes with city agencies. So there are some agencies who are like, you can't call and ask for that because that's not in your ward. And I think that means not slighting city agencies. I think it's more that there's, aldermen are very territorial with their boundaries. And they want to make sure that they're the person taking care of their people. But when this whole mapping situation is into place, that there's a conflict. But are you in 10 and coming to 7? Are you in 5 coming to 7? Yeah, we have no problem doing that.
There's other issues because now our class is connected to you guys. We're in the 5th, we're not in the 7th yet. But class is connected to the 5th.
Well,
Also facilitated.
you know what? It's the beat. So the beat doesn't have anything to do with the ward boundaries. So, for example, my beat actually meets on 71st Street by the chamber that the health center. Yeah, that's where my beat meets, right? That's my beat. I live all the way on 74th and Holmes, but so it's the beat that the CAPS covers, not that it doesn't go with the ward boundaries. Yeah, so that would be a problem. So, any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to bring up Ms. Valfrey.
How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
How many people have heard of the Southeast Block Club Alliance? Okay, how many have been to my meetings? Okay. Just to give you some background, we started, like she said, last year we had a general assembly. We're going to call it a general assembly of block clubs this year. We had a block club assembly last year where we had block club leaders come out to begin to talk, to come together and form an organization. And the name of the organization is called the Southeast Side Block Club Alliance. It basically has block clubs from 67 to 103rd. That meeting we had about 70 block club leaders come out. They represented a lot of block clubs, even some people from yours and hers. that campaign to get a high-end grocery store came out of the Southeast Side Block Club Alliance. We had a meeting. We said we wanted to meet with all three aldermen, have a grocery store, talk about a grocery store. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know it was going to go from December to where we are now. I thought that was going to be 2 meetings, max 3, and we can get back on track with what we're doing with the block clubs. That didn't happen. So what we do, we meet once a month, every 4th Saturday of the month, and one of our goals was to start moving around in the different neighborhoods. So this was a good idea to have it with Alderman Holmes. I would like to say thank you, Alderman Holmes, because she reached out to me before we could reach out to her. I really appreciate that because in our block club model, I can't show it to you today because we don't have a projector. But in our block club model is where we want all the elected officials to be at the table on the issues that we have. And because again, if I'm on 71st and one side of 71st is the 5th ward and the other side of the 71st is the 7th ward and one side of 75th is the 7th ward and the other side of 75th is the 8th ward, it makes it hard to get things done. So our goal is to just kind of bring it together. Our model is a model where we pull the block club leaders together. We start block clubs, we get block club workshops, and we also partner with permanent block clubs. Our goal is to ask block club leaders to get their blocks more engaged in what's going on. So when things happen, we have people that can also help out with unique things. What I mean by that is most of our block club leaders are seniors, and they're not as active as they used to be. And how do we get the younger group or the younger crowd to be just as involved? They have assets, they have resources, they're knowledgeable, but how do you get them involved? Our goal is to meet with block club leaders, come to your block club meetings, and charge you with finding people on your block that are interested in housing, economic development, education, health and wellness, safety and security, beautification, and arts and culture. Just one person, and I guarantee you can find at least one person that's interested in all of those. And to put this into motion, charge you, if there isn't a block club behind you, or in front of you, or around you, find some people that want to start that block club, or you take it on and still find people in those areas so that we can connect the blocks. Because what you want to do is take those same people that's interested in those different things and connect them and make a committee out of them. And that committee would work with Alderman Holmes, Alderman Harris, Alderman Harrison on issues. For example, the grocery store issue is not just a South Shore issue. It's not just a 5th Ward issue. It is a Southeast Side issue because, for one, guess what? We do not have a high-end grocer on the Southeast Side. Most of us go to Hyde Park or Roosevelt Road. Am I correct? Or somewhere far south. Can you imagine all of that money that's leaving the community that's causing us to be the community that no one wants because they don't understand our economic power? So what we're asking people to do is come together as one force, one block, one community, one family. And that's called the Southeast Side Alliance. We can change the name because I don't really like it a lot, but that's what they came up with in our meeting, so we're trying to stick with that. But the thing is, how do we connect the blocks and get people talking to one another so you'll know people? I live way on 67th in East End. I know most of the people in the room. Well, I've seen you someplace. But my point is, that's what we need to be able to do. Like, when you go to the store, you know your name. Now, when you I'll get my paper and pass that around. I just need your telephone number, your name, and your email. And please write legibly, no cursor, please. Also, we have a website. If you can write this down, it's kind of long. It's called The Planning Coalition. On there, oh, I'm sorry, .org. No, The Planning Coalition. On there, you can go in and register your block club. And in that, what we do is we have a communication piece where you can set up that, and it's your group. So if you're the 79th and Exits group, you can have your whole group set up where you're talking to one another. But you also have access to other block clubs. The leaders, only the leaders will have access to the other block clubs and whoever they deem that other person could be. What we're trying to do is get the word out, because if John is still on 78th and Exits, he's probably on 72nd and Jeffrey somewhere too. So how do we get that picture of who John is out there, so everybody can see him, or homeowners can know who they need to be questioning when they're moving into their place as landlord. So it's a very good, strong communication piece. We also have a Facebook page. It's called the Planning Coalition. But what we're trying to do is get people talking to one another. I know everyone is not on the computer, but if you are, and you want to register your block club, that is the way to do it. You can begin to start talking to one another. If you have problems, please email us. There's at hello@theplanningcoalition.org. hello@theplanningcoalition.org. Again, that goal for that is to begin to talk to one another. It's almost like a Facebook page where you can talk to one another. The difference between Facebook and every blog and all of that is it's built by one of the community members, and we're not compromising your information. So we're asking people to begin to let's just build on it. Everything. Oh, because we're moving around. We had one location, but with one of our meetings, we decided that we should move around. And for good reason, like we're over here and I've never met you before. So people I will be over